monitoring for missile threats, and testing and implementing new technologies that protect our country and our people. 100 national security launches, 100 missions we proudly enabled. And we look forward to the next era of national security missions, launching atop ULA's high-performance Vulcan rocket.
All communications switch to channel 1. All personnel and visitors remain in present position.
ULA's Atlas V rocket will head southeast from Space Launch Complex 41. Here's a look at today's ascent.
Generating a combined liftoff thrust of more than 2 million pounds, the RD-180 engine and 5 solid rocket boosters ignite to start ULA's Atlas V rocket on its trip to geosynchronous orbit. Shortly after liftoff, Atlas begins a pitchover to attain the proper flight path with an easterly heading while minimizing the dynamic pressure the rocket experiences during flight. Within the first minute of flight, Atlas V reaches Mach 1, the speed of sound. Within the next 2 minutes of first stage flight, the Atlas V rocket will quadruple its velocity, following jettison of the 5 GEM 63 solid rocket boosters. The USSF-51 mission is encapsulated inside a 5-meter diameter payload fairing, which is a sandwich composite structure made with a vented aluminum honeycomb core and graphite epoxy face sheets. Once the rocket has climbed above the densest part of Earth's atmosphere, the payload fairing is jettisoned, and the mission continues to its final destination, completing ULA's 100th national security flight.
Roger.
Before we continue, let's check in on today's weather. Space Launch Delta 45's forecast for this morning's launch is looking good. Here's Launch Weather Officer Arlena Moses.
That's right, Ben. We have a look at our infrared satellite here this morning over the past couple of hours that measures the temperatures of the clouds, with the brighter colors being our colder, higher clouds. And you can notice over the past couple of hours, all the area around our spaceport here has started to diminish, indicating clearing conditions, with the boundary that we were watching has moved off to South Florida. So that's why if we take a look at our forecast this morning, our lead launch weather officer has lowered our probability of any violations down to 10% here as we go into our T0, with a small concern for our cumulus cloud roll and light winds. So great weather for our launch this morning. Let's go, team. Back to you.
Thanks, Arlena. We remain in the planned 30-minute hold as we continue towards liftoff. In a few moments, launch conductor Scott Barney will pull the launch team for the final go to pick up the count. 29 engineers and managers are pulled for system status and readiness to proceed. This is the final status check for all Atlas vehicle systems, ground systems, spacecraft, and the U.S. Space Force Eastern Range. The vehicle system readiness pull includes electrical systems, hydraulics, pneumatics, propulsion systems, flight control, and propellants. Let's listen in as Scott Barney performs the final polling.
Now minus 7 minutes. Status check to proceed with terminal count. Atlas systems, propulsion. Go. Hydraulics. Go. Pneumatics. Go. LO2. Go. Water. Go. Centaur systems, propulsion. Go. Pneumatics. Go. LO2. Go. LH2. Go. HASGAS. Go. Electrical systems airborne. Go. Ground. Go. Facility. Go. RFFTS. Go. Flight control. Go. GCQ. Go. Top support. Go. Com. Go. Umbilicals. Go. ECS. Go. Redline monitor. Go. Quality. Quality, net 1. Go. Op safety manager. Go. ULA safety officer. Go. Vehicle system engineer. Go. Anomaly chief. Go. Range coordinator. Clear to proceed. Launch director.
Launch vehicle is ready to launch.
Mission Director.
This is the Mission Director. You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count. ALC, verified T0 is set for 10:45 Zulu.
Verified.
Polling is complete. The ULA launch team and the Space Force Mission Director are go for launch. From T-minus 4 minutes until launch, you will be listening to Scott Barney and his team performing the final steps in the countdown procedure. Several critical activities occur in the final minutes before launch, including verifying fuel tank levels and pressures in the booster and Centaur, and arming the flight termination system. At T-minus 25 seconds, you'll hear, "Go Atlas, go Centaur, go USSF-51. This is the final status check of rocket and payload readiness. At T-minus 3 seconds, the main engine ignites, followed by ignition of the solid rocket boosters. Then, after seeing Atlas V lift off the launch pad, you'll be hearing flight commentator Rob Gannon providing launch vehicle ascent data. This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. We anticipate releasing the hold in just a few moments.
On my mark, the time will be T-minus 4 minutes and counting. 3, 2, 1, mark. 3:55.
Ground pyros enabled.
The countdown clock has resumed, and we are go for launch at 6:45 a.m. Eastern. With liftoff approaching, we're going to raise the volume on our launch team so you can hear the final preps taking place.
Minutes.
Pressurizing Atlas tanks. Securing LO2 topping.
2:50.
FTS internal.
T-minus 2 minutes. The rocket, payload, ground systems, and eastern range are go for launch.
1:50.
Securing Centaur LH2.
Securing Centaur LO2.
If you just tuned in, I'm Ben Chilton, your host for today's live coverage of the Atlas V USSF-51 launch. At this time, the team is not working any issues, and we're proceeding towards an on-time liftoff at 6:45 a.m. Eastern.
$120.
OCU's armed.
FCS count started.
1:15.
Produce CCS for launch.
Roger.
1:10.
Vent valves locked.
One minute.
Rock, report
T
range
minus
status.
1 minute.
Range green.
Seconds.
Stable at step 3.
Verify ECS reduced for launch.
Verified.
Status check.
Go Atlas. Go Centaur.
Go SF-51.
T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, carrying USSF-51 for the United States Space Force on ULA's 100th National Security Mission.
Hydraulics look good. We are throttling down in preparation for max Q. Is everything looking good? P is at closed loop control. And roll program did complete on time. Mach 1. Vehicle's now supersonic. Engine continues to operate normally. SRB is burning normally. Everything looking good.
You are hearing the voice of Rob Gannon providing launch vehicle ascent data.
And max Q. We're throttling up post max Q as expected. Everything looking good, following the expected profile. SRB is burning normally. RD-180 operating expected. Throttle level, everything looking good. Body weights look good. We have now throttled down in preparation for SRB burnout. We are now 50% of our liftoff weight. SRB is rolling off. And we have SRB burnout. 10 seconds to SRB jettison. SRB jet. All 5 SRBs successfully jettisoned the vehicle. RD-180 is throttled up and operating normally. Everything looking good. We're now 34 miles in altitude, 36 miles downrange, traveling at 4,200 miles per hour. Quick review of our range track. Vehicles proceeding right down the center of the range track. Everything looking good. And we did enable closed loop steering a few seconds ago. Everything looks good there. Next event we're looking for is throttling down to a constant 2.5 G limit for payload fairing jettison. And we've begun the throttle down, now holding a constant 2.5 Gs in preparation for fairing jet. And we fired the power valve, activating the reaction control system on the second stage. And we just passed through the von Karman line, 25% of liftoff weight. Ten seconds to fairing jet. We have fairing jettison. And CLFR deck jettison. And we throttled up the RD-180.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T plus 3 minutes and 38 seconds. We just heard flight commentator Rob Gannon confirm the successful completion of the early phase of today's flight, and all systems continue to operate nominally. At this time, we're going to end our live coverage. For more information about the Atlas V rocket, visit ulalaunch.com. I'm Ben Chilton, and thank you for joining us this morning. Before we sign off, let's take another look at the liftoff of ULA's 100th National Security Mission. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, carrying USSF-51 for the United States Space Force on ULA's 100th National Security Mission.
Hydraulics look good. We are throttling down in preparation for max Q. Everything looking good. T is at closed loop control. And program did complete on time.